What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It is the final preview show of the season. I've got one thing to ask of you. If you haven't subscribed already, please click subscribe below. Yes, what's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. As I say, it's the final preview show, the final starting 11 prediction of the season for tomorrow's trophy day against Motherwell at Celtic Park. So often on these days, the football takes a back seat. They can often be an anticlimax because everybody knows there's a celebration coming at the end of the game. The medals are getting handed out, the trophy's getting handed out. There'll be fireworks. It'll be brilliant atmosphere. It'll be a party, and often the game doesn't really live up to that. I remember trophy days under Brendan Rodgers where Aberdeen came to Celtic Park and won. I remember a trophy day under Martin O'Neill where Dunfermline came and won at Celtic Park. So hopefully tomorrow the team are right at it and we go and win the game, and then we can start the party when the trophy gets handed out afterwards. Hearing the manager today in the press conference, that seems exactly like what he'll be sending out the team to do. We know that he wants to win and he wants to play the same way every minute of every game. So I think we'll start a strong team tomorrow, and hopefully we can get a really good win and go on and just have a brilliant day. Obviously there's been so many trophy days where we've had really convincing victories, and it really helps the day. The 7-0 game, I think in one of Dyla's last year where Kieran Tierney scored his first goal, 7-0 it was that day, the last time we played Motherwell on a trophy day. So hopefully we can get a repeat of that tomorrow. There's a lot to go through today before we get to the team and thinking about how Celtic might line up tomorrow. Big news today that Tom Rogic and Rogic Bitton will leave Celtic at the end of the season. That comes as a bit of a shock, less so with Bitton because I think his Instagram post last week kind of pointed towards the fact that he was leaving, and Rogic had an Instagram post last night where people thought, is this goodbye? It was confirmed today that both of them will leave the club at the end of the season. First of all, in terms of Rogic, what a player he's been for Celtic. So many unforgettable moments, especially domestically. The top one being the winner in the Invincible Treble Cup final against Aberdeen. One of the most iconic moments in Celtic's recent history. And as I say, what a player. Dribbling ability. I think he spent a lot of his younger years playing futsal. You can see that in terms of his ability with the ball. It's just different to other players, the way he drifts past people, his ability to just take the ball in a half turn and cut defenders out of the game. He's been an absolute joy to watch, and you could argue that this season is maybe the sharpest and the fittest he's ever looked in his time at Celtic under Ange. I think he wants a new challenge. I think that's the case with both him and Bitton. It seems like the players and the club have come to an agreement that this is a good time to part ways. The players want a new challenge. The club aren't desperate to hold on to them, and I think that's only natural. I think everyone comes to the end of a cycle, and I've actually argued in past seasons that Bitton and Rogic had come to the end of their cycle at Celtic. Not so much with Rogic this season because he has been fantastic for us, but when you've been at the club, both of them have been on the club nigh on 10 years. I think it's 9 years for both of them. I think it's only natural that these things come to an end. Tom Rogic leaves behind so many brilliant memories, and no one will ever forget that cup final against Aberdeen and him scoring that winning goal. For Bitton, he's been a really good squad player over his time at Celtic. He's been moved around. He started as a midfielder under Ronnie Dyla, a centre-back under Brendan Rodgers, almost a utility man at times. He's let us down on a few occasions, getting sent off in really big games, but I think over the piece he's been a good servant for the club, and he's been there through a very, very successful period. He's one of only few players to be there for the whole quadruple treble, and play a big part in it. So he leaves as well. I think it frees up space in the squad for guys like Ideguchi. Can Matt O'Reilly grab the starting spot in midfield now? Can that be his going forward into next season? And probably for Ange, in terms of strengthening the squad, two relatively big earners who have been at the club for a long time, can we go and invest that money in younger players who can take us on to the next level and hopefully make an impact for us in Europe? Ideguchi's game time has been limited since he's come to the club. With McCarthy and Sorrow, we've got a lot of players in that sixth position who haven't really had any game time this season, and we don't know what their futures at Celtic are going to look like. So whether we'll bring in another player there or Ideguchi will step up and get a lot more game time with Bitton away, that'll all be seen next season. But I think we should add another midfielder to replace Rogic. Matt O'Reilly is there already, and he's made a great start to his Celtic career. Quite like Rogic in many ways, but I think we need another player in there, maybe more of an 8, to really help us go and make an impact in Europe. But I think the money, or certainly the wage budget freed up, will help the manager to do that. And we've got the Champions League money there, and the manager's got to be given a good budget to go and strengthen, because the budget that he had this season, he's done so well with and got such value for money. So I would give him as much transfer budget as we can possibly give him. And I expect the squad to look a lot better next season. In other news this week, James Forrest signed a 3-year deal. That raised a few eyebrows. James Forrest, again, another one who's been here through a major period of domestic success for Celtic. But at 31 years of age, to get a 3-year deal when he spent most of the last 2 or 3 years on the injury list, seems a little bit strange. I did hear the managers talking about him today though, talking about how important it is when you're building something to have almost legacy players there who have been there, who know the culture, and he seems really happy with the work and the professionalism of James Forrest in training. I would just like to see Forrest get back to the levels of maybe the double treble season in those years under Brendan Rodgers where he really reached his peak, but I just don't know if being 31 as a winger he can get back to that level. I'd have maybe went for a 1 or 2 year extension. I think 3 is a lot, but as I say, hopefully he can just get back to good levels. He's been on the injury list so often, certainly this season under Ange as well. I think his game time's been really, really limited. So whether he can get back to that next season and in the coming seasons, we'll need to wait and see. But I think a lot of people had raised eyebrows for that one. Right, we'll get to the game tomorrow. As I say, Motherwell, they've secured European football now, so it's almost a dead rubber for them. We've won the title, but we want to go out in style and try and win the game and put on a show for the capacity crowd at Celtic Park tomorrow. It promises to be a great day. The team during the week at Dundee United was really surprising. After back-to-back correct 11s, I was miles off it because the manager made a few changes. We started with that front three of Forrest, Abada and Giakoumakis, which I don't think anyone really seen coming. No Kyogo, Jota or Maeda in that front three. That seemed a little bit strange, and they all featured in the end in the second half. Maeda, Jota and Kyogo in stoppage time came on. So I don't know what he's going to do with the team tomorrow, but here's how I guess we will line up. We'll start in goals, as we always do, and it will be Joe Hart. I don't think there'll be any surprises there. Excellent this season. It's going to be a joy to see him lift the league title. Fully deserved. As I say, what an impact he's made at the club, not just in terms of his goalkeeping ability, but also on and off the pitch. He looks like a great leader, and he's been so committed and he's bought into what the manager's been trying to do this season. He's been excellent for us. I think the back four will stay the same. That'll be Anthony Ralston, another assist for him on Wednesday night, and a crucial goal line challenge to prevent a Dundee United goal. I think that's 8 assists for Ralston this season, 5 or 6 goals as well. He's been absolutely brilliant. The centre halves, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, no change there, and Taylor at left back, who again was really good the other night, I thought. In midfield, it will be the captain, Callum McGregor, and what a joy it will be to see him lift the league title tomorrow. He's won a lot of trophies at Celtic, he's won a lot of league titles, but no doubt this will be the most special for him, given that he's the captain, and he was such a big player in this rebuild. When the manager came in, he's only really had McGregor, Rogic, Forrest, maybe Taylor, but as I say, Forrest out so often with injury, to call on his players who have been here for a number of years. Everything else was built up around Callum McGregor, and he was key this season. And as I say, some questions about him at the start of the season as to whether he could lead the Celtic team. Never a doubt in my mind, and he's been absolutely fantastic. So can't wait to see him lift the trophy. In front of him, I'm going to go with Turnbull tomorrow. Hatate did start, and I thought he was good in the first half. A few comments on the player ratings thought I was a wee bit generous with an 8, but I thought he was decent in the first half, have to be honest. But then, I don't know if he's going to play 2 games in a week, given the struggles he's had with his fitness in recent months. So I'll go Turnbull, and I think Tom Rogic will start in his final match at Celtic Park. I think that'd be a fitting way for him to go out, and hopefully he can give us one of those virtuoso performances that we've seen so often from him at Celtic Park. No doubt he'll get a great send-off. I think he'll probably come off at some point in the game. There'll be a lap honour at the end, but I expect him to get a standing ovation when he does come off in the game. But I think he'll start, and I think he deserves to start. It's a great way for him to end his Celtic career. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go back to the main man, Jota, who came on the other night, and as I say, was really good. Would have had a goal, but for a brilliant save by Siegrist, where he's skinned 2 or 3 Dundee United players and then smashed it goal bound, and against a lot of other keepers in the league, that would have been a goal. But he's just brilliant, Jota, and I expect him to come back in tomorrow. I don't know if the manager was just wanting to give the likes of Abada and Forrest game time, or if he wanted to rest Jota and Maeda. Maybe a bit of both, because they've played a lot of football recently, but I think tomorrow Jota will come back in. I think Maeda will come back in on the left-hand side. Should have scored when he came on the other night, but he's been brilliant for us, and the manager did confirm today that it's an obligation to buy him. He will join Celtic on a 4-year deal, and as I say, he's been a great asset for us, and I look forward to seeing him after a full pre-season where we don't have a lot of qualifiers and we can just hit the ground running. His fitness levels have been extraordinary, considering that he come from Japan shortly after finishing a full season. So I can't wait to see what he's like after a full pre-season with Ange. Again, I expect better from him next season. I expect him to go to another level, as I do with a lot of these signings who haven't been at the club for a very long time. And through the middle, I'm putting Kyogo back in. Giakoumakis was really good the other night, scored a great goal, but I just think if he's going to put Jota and Maeda in, he might start with Kyogo. Kyogo warming up the other night, looking to the bench like a kid, dying to come on at times, but he only got the last few minutes. So he should be fresh. I'm sure he'll want to get more goals as well. 2 or 3, I think it's 2 goals away from 20 in all competitions. And I think he's missed 18 games this season. That's 18 league games, by the way. So an incredible return, given how long he's been injured for. And I think if he starts tomorrow, I would back him to add to his tally. So there you go, that's the lineup I think the manager will start with tomorrow. Join us after the game. I'm going to be at the press conference. As I'm sure you know, there's a fan media press conference after the game tomorrow with a player and Ange Postecoglou. So that'll be brilliant. I'm so looking forward to that. And then we're going to the pub for the post-match pint or the post-match party tomorrow, because we're going to just go 4 of us. Post-match pint as normal, but there'll be a few different things in there. A celebration of the season. It'll be longer than usual. We'll go for an hour-long special. So join us for that. That'll be on YouTube. We're hoping about 5 o'clock, but it depends how long the celebrations take, how long the press conference takes, and then the journey to the pub, which if there's a street party, who knows how long it might take us. But wherever you are, enjoy your day tomorrow. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you tomorrow for the title party.